What's going on, Sports Wars? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost and GeeksGamers.com, and the mainstream sports media could not be happier to talk about Brian Flores alleging that the entire NFL is racist, because let's be real, the past few weeks had been full of incredible football on the field, great stories, whether it's Tom Brady's retirement, whether it's the play on the field, how close these games have been, Joe Burrow, Matthew Stafford, all of this stuff. And guess what? The activists at ESPN, the activists at Fox Sports, they don't want to talk about that stuff. They never want to talk about that stuff. They want to talk about social justice and racism. And now Brian Flores pulling a Colin Kaepernick, realizing that maybe he's not going to get hired. So instead, he's going to be a victim. He's going to try to gain notoriety by becoming a victim, just like Colin Kaepernick did. That is what the woke sports media exactly wants to talk about. We talked about this story when it broke yesterday. I have some things to show you in this lawsuit that if you actually believe this is about anything other than a virtue signal, you're a laughingstock. You're a joke. Because let's look at the very first page of this lawsuit. The first page of this lawsuit where Brian Flores is claiming that essentially the reason that he got fired from the Dolphins, the reason he's not getting hired other places is because the NFL is just so systemically racist. It's just not right. Look at this. Not a single bit of evidence, not a single bit of proof, anything in this entire lawsuit. Only these things happen to me and it's not right. Well, it must just be because I'm black. The first page of this lawsuit right here, the first thing they state right after, Brian Flores as the class representative against the NFL, the Miami Dolphins, the Denver Broncos, and I think the Giants are also named in here. It's the quote from the text from Bill Belichick. All that's showing is that he was told that Brian Daboll is the favorite for the Giants head coaching search. That's it. The second thing, a Martin Luther King Jr. quote. What business does that have in your lawsuit? What legal bearing does that have in any way, shape, or form? Well, here's the truth. It doesn't. This is a virtue signal. And if you couldn't tell that by a random Martin Luther King Jr. quote, well, then look at the preliminary statement. As this class action complaint is filed on the first day of Black History Month, we honor the brave leaders that fought so hard to help break down racial barriers of injustice. Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Frederick Douglass, Jackie Robinson. This is all about virtue signaling. This is all about playing identity politics. This is about Brian Flores being upset that he got fired from Miami, being upset that he didn't get the Giants head coaching job. So now what is he going to do? He's going to cry racism. Didn't happen when he was the head coach of Miami Dolphins. Did he talk about how racist it was to be part of the Miami Dolphins organization, that how racist the NFL was? No, he didn't say anything because he was a head coach in the NFL, wasn't he? But now, when he realizes, well, he might not be a head coach anymore, this is when he decides to play the victim. And Clay Travis brought up a great point about what would happen today. Tomorrow on sports TV, not one single member of the sports media will question whether the NFL's racist or even mention that Brian Flores' entire lawsuit doesn't have one single piece of evidence of racism. All will accept the NFL's racist and Flores is a victim of that racism. Ask yourself, how is this possible? That every single person in an entire industry has the exact same opinion. There will be a competition to see who can be the most outraged by NFL racism. Someone will likely cry on air. There will be no true analysis of the complaint. That's because the sports media is broken. Left-wing woke media has so overtaken sports that not one person on air will ever be willing to say that Flores' entire complaint has no tangible evidence. It will be accepted as fact, and that's exactly what we're seeing. When you scroll through the Brian Flores trend on Twitter, all you see is blue check marks talking about how stunning and brave it is, how powerful it is, how he's going to change the game. There's Michael Thomas. Brian Flores about to change the game. Brian Flores' lawyers absolutely steamrolled Greeny and made him give them a spot in the anchor chair. Yeah, they're the lawyers while Greenberg talks to Brian Flores. They were also on CBS in the morning. A ton of media appearances for the opening salvo of Black History Month. Can't wait. Field Yates, this quote is powerful. He knows he's risking his coaching future. This is about much more than just his own coaching future. That's really all it is, right? From like the mainstream sports guys. This Brian Flores lawsuit's going to resonate throughout sports and be a significant moment in the history of the league. I've spoken to 2 other coaches who believe they have receipts to be a part of the class. This could be a tsunami before it's all over. What a surprise that a bunch of other people who fail are going to join in on this and pretend like they are also victims of racism. Let me ask you a question. Somehow, for some reason, it all comes down to coaching. That's when everybody has a problem. I think there's 6 or 7 black general managers in the league. The league is 60% black athletes, okay? Is it 60% black because that's just a representation of society? No, it's because those athletes give everyone the best chance to win. At the high school, at the college level, all the way up. Those are the ones that people feel they have the best chance to succeed with. They have earned it. That's the bottom line. Now, suddenly, the NFL just becomes so racist at the head coaching spot. When it comes to the Dolphins, their GM is black. Like, I made a tweet about this. Hold on. Let me find this. I made a tweet about this yesterday. This is Chris Greer, the Dolphins general manager. He's been there since 2016. And guess what? They had a disagreement about the future ahead for the Dolphins. He was pretty much aligned with the owner. Brian Flores was not. And so guess what? Brian Flores is gone. That happens all the time. That happens to coaches all the time, whether they're black, whether they're white, whether they're Hispanic, whatever. But no, Brian Flores wants to play the victim. This is a joke, but it's going to continue because ESPN doesn't want to talk about sports. They don't want to talk about Joe Burrow. They don't want to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. They don't want to talk about Matthew Stafford. They want to talk about this. They want to talk about Brian Flores being a victim and about how the NFL needs to fix its racism problem. Oh, because the Rooney Rule, right? The Rooney Rule, which is instituted by woke losers, woke lunatics who wanted you to be forced to interview a black man for any opening. Why? Well, because we need more black people as coaches. That was their reasoning. Well, now it's not working out. They don't have as many black coaches they want. So now something else needs to happen. Something else needs to change. Now, maybe we need to get more black people in the ownership positions. It is always something. It will never be enough. It will never, ever be enough. That is obvious and clear to anyone. This is a joke. This entire thing is going to be played out over the next several weeks and months. And we're going to be all over it, calling out the mainstream sports media like we always have and like we always will. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.